just a few minutes. Oh, yellow.
No worries, yeah.
Can you kind of see the screen and your screen?
Yeah, I can.
Yeah, that's you up there on the big screen, and then here's most of the audience right through here.
Okay, yeah, let me know when you folks are ready. Hey, everybody, morning or afternoon.
I think we've got pretty much everybody in here, just last minute stragglers. So I think we're ready whenever you are.
Okay, well, how's it going, everybody? How's it, Bonner Elementary 5th graders? My name's Ranger Adrian. I'm here at Hawaii Volcanoes National Park. All right, and we're standing on the top of a volcano here in Hawaii. The volcano is called Kilauea. And in back of you, and back of me, I should say, we got a crater that has a lava lake in it that's smoking away right now. This lava lake, this crater here emits about 3,000 to 5,000 tons of sulfur dioxide gases, steam, and things like that. So it's not actually smoke, it's steam and it's gases. We all came to work in 2008, and this volcano exploded overnight. And so we didn't predict it, and because of that, you used to be able to drive all the way around the side of the volcano, and now you only can go up to this place where we're at. And we're at a place called Jagger Museum. So we're at the summit of the volcano, and it's a little misty up here this morning, so we might get a little passing shower now or later. It's passing by right as we speak, but I got my trusty cameraman here, and he's helping us out here to make it all happen. A little history about myself is I've been up here in the park since 2002, and I'm originally from the other island over called Maui. And I started out as a student intern. I was in college, and I started working in the park. And after I graduated, I never left. So here I am, and I get to talk for a living. I work as a park ranger here in the park. So my work entails, sometimes we do Skype with school groups like you folks. I do guided hikes around the volcano. We talk about some of the trees that grow up here. We look at the cultural usages that Hawaiians might use for the trees. We look for birds up here, and we talk about the volcano and some of its eruptive history also. So we're at a place called Jagger Museum. I'll do a quick panorama here for you guys. There's a lanai or patio in back of me, so a lot of people come here. In the museum itself, we have a lot of geology equipment. They're always measuring the volcano. They're looking at earthquakes. They're looking at different ways to predict when a volcano is going to erupt and things like that. I'm going to give you guys a little talk here about what we're looking at, and then you guys can ask me some questions after. So a big question is how did we get the Hawaiian Islands here in the middle of the Pacific Ocean? I'm going to put some pictures up on your screen too. Well, we're the Big Island, so we're right here where my thumb is, and we're the newest Hawaiian island in the chain. As you look, there's older islands in back of us. And how did we get here? Well, we're not on a tectonic plate where we're not rubbing against another plate with a transform zone or subduction zone. We're actually formed by a hot spot underneath us, which is melting the earth, and it creates islands that form up in the middle of the ocean. And so as we're on what we call the Pacific plate, and the plate's moving northwest. So as it moves, the hot spot melts the new islands up. So right now, we're looking at the hot spot right here, because we have an erupting volcano right back of us. It got a little bit clouded over just as I was talking. But let me show you guys some more pictures. Because if you're here after the sun sets tonight, this crater glows orange, and it's a spectacular view. And it has a lava lake in there. So if you're standing on the edge, like right now, you'd see lava just like that. That'd be kind of neat, huh? And it's about maybe 100 feet down, and it ebbs and flows. It goes up and down. So that's where we don't go out there, but geologists do. Now, this is the night view after the sun sets tonight. So this is what people come here to see. They stand on the edge right where we're at, and then they look and they watch the crater glow. So that'd be kind of fun too, huh? And as long as the weather's good, you get a pretty good view. So we're at also a place that's considered sacred to Hawaiians. Now, Hawaiians have been living on the island for hundreds of years, if not thousands. And they come up to the volcano, and they see it, and they start to consider it to be a sacred place. So there's a woman named Pele, and Pele is the goddess of volcanoes. And it's revered by Hawaiians that Pele lives up here in the summit And some people even say that she lives in this crater right behind me. So to some people, Pele's returned now to the crater where she lives. So it is considered a sacred place by Hawaiians. Hawaiians dance hula, and it's a form of actually connecting back with the land and the resources. And the hula dancers come up here to pay tribute to Pele, to come up to the source where the new land is born and things like that. So it's an amazing place to work. I'm always humbled when I get to come to work and I get to walk around the volcano. It's not always cloudy up here. It can be beautiful and sunny. It's a little cool. We're up here at 4,000 feet, so it's not too bad. It's a little chilly at times, but it kind of comes with the territory. We get about 100 inches of rain a year. We're in a rainforest. So a lot of our plant life comes right out of the lava flows. As you see behind me, I hope you guys can see the tree with the red blossoms here. Can you guys see that all right?
We can see a tree, we don't see the red blossoms, do we?
I sort of do.
I see it.
Okay.
Well, a few of them can see red.
Okay, cool. Let me go a little closer. I have a tree right here. And maybe you guys can see. There we go.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so this tree is amazing. It's got a cousin from New Zealand. A lot of people from New Zealand come here, and they say, I know that tree. That's the New Zealand Christmas tree. And I say, well, it's similar to the New Zealand Christmas tree. The only thing is this tree actually has the ability to hold its breath. And this tree, just like how we have pores on our skin, this tree has pores on its leaves, and it has the ability to hold its breath. And it actually closes its stomata when there's sulfur in the air, and then it opens its stomata when the sulfur gases are gone. So that's kind of cool, huh? This tree is called Ohia lehua. And Ohia is the tree, and the lehua are the red blossoms. So it's blooming really nice this time of year, and hula dancers use it for the hula, and people like to put it on their head wreaths and their leis, things like that. It is considered sacred to the goddess of volcanoes, Pele, too. And there's a story about this tree about two people that were in love with each other, and a guy, his name is Ohia, he's a guy, and he's in love with Lehua, who's a woman. And they're in this deep loving relationship. Well, there's a story about, remember that picture of Pele I showed you?
Yes.
There's a story of the lady Pele, and Pele is kind of known for being a goddess, and if she doesn't get her way, and she gets really mad. And so she sees Ohia one day, and she thinks that, she'd like to be with Ohia. So she says, Ohia, you're a nice-looking guy, you got some big muscles. She saw Ohia out surfing one day, and Ohia says, I'm sorry, Pele, I'm in love with Lehua. I can't be taken for my love. Well, Pele, in her fit and fury, turns Ohia into this skinny, scrawny tree. Well, here comes Lehua looking for her lover and her man, and she calls out his name, and finally a few hours go by, and she can't find him, and she asks the higher gods and creators to help her. And they say, Lehua, we can help you. We have to change you into a flower for the rest of your life. So she agrees. The gods say, we can't turn you back into a man, but we have to turn you into a flower. So she agrees. Wherever you find the Ohia tree, you'll find the red Lehua blossom. And the two lovers are forever together. Now the thing is, they say if you pick the flower, it'll start to rain because the heavens are crying. So luckily nobody picked the flower today. At least that's the way we say it. Well, actually, I guess somebody did pick the flower today because it's raining. I'm going to head back over to where we are. In my little packet here, I got a picture, and it talks about the pores on the leaves of the Ohia tree. And on the one side of my picture, the leaves are open, and on the other side, the pores are open, the stomata we call them, and then on this side the stomata are closed. So it's kind of neat to see the stomata when there's sulfur in the air. There we go. And then they're open when there's no sulfur on the right. Then when there's sulfur, they close their pores. So that this tree has adapted to live just here in Hawaii. The neat thing about this tree is it's the first tree that comes up in the lava flows. So now you guys see one behind me, and they're all over the volcano here. You see the smoke coming out of the crater now, hopefully a little better. Yes. And they've actually, they're the pioneer species of the first tree to grow. People from New Zealand come here and they say, I know that tree. We call it the New Zealand Christmas tree. And I say, well, it's similar to the New Zealand Christmas tree. The only thing is this tree has the ability to hold its breath. So that's kind of unique too. We have a lot of unique bird life lives up here in the volcano. We have some plants and animals that are unique just to Hawaii. So it's a neat place to work, a neat place to live. And the thing is you never know what's going to happen next when you work on a volcano. Sometimes you can get pretty close to lava, like these guys, and we say just as close as a fireplace. And if your shoes are smoking, you're too close. So yeah, if you smell burnt rubber, you're way too close. But actually, burnt rubber is a common smell, and we say so if your pants catch fire, then you're too close. No, just yeah. But really, it's just if your shoes are smoking, it's a common smell of burnt rubber. Sometimes lava is down by the area where you can hike to it. Currently, it's burning through a rainforest, similar to this, if you can see my picture here. And so this is what, if you were to take a helicopter, it looks like a forest fire. It's actually burning and flowing, and it's not in the ocean since August of last year. And you can't hike to it since November. And so right now it's heading towards my house. Yeah, just towards my house, that's all. No big deal, right? But what we think is going to happen is it'll probably go into the ocean, and it probably won't hit my house. So we're standing by. But we did lose a visitor center back in 1989, so we know that can happen. And so that's when we had an area, we had a visitor center down by the ocean, and it got covered. So we're always watching that lava because it is slow moving, and it's not like a big river of lava coming towards our house. It's very slow. And so we see it coming, and it might be a few months to a few years if it does hit my house, but we think it'll probably go into the ocean once again. At any rate, I know you guys are starting to study volcanoes, and a couple of last things I can talk about here is the difference between Kilauea volcano on the right and the difference between Mount St. Helens. And are you guys familiar with the three types of volcanoes that are in the world? The three types by chance? Anybody?
We've not talked about that yet. It's coming up.
Okay. Well, we have strato or composite volcanoes, which are shaped like a cone, and like Mount St. Helens, Mount Fuji, Mount Etna. These are the real explosive volcanoes. When they blow their tops, you don't want to be around them. We're a shield volcano. We're more gently sloping, just like a shield from above. It's the shield side facing up. So, at any rate, the other one is a cinder volcano. So really, the difference is the chemistry of your volcano. And if you can see my chemical chart here, that light blue, that's the silica. And the more silica you have in your volcano, like Mount St. Helens on the left here, or the right, the more explosive it is, like when it erupted in 1989. So here, 1980, here on Kilauea, 50% silica, a lot less of that blue, means that the more silica you have in your lava, it's like making a smoothie. Excuse me. It's like making a smoothie. The more things you got in your smoothie, the thicker your smoothie is, right? So then the harder it is for your gases to escape, and the more explosive it is for your volcano, because the gases are under a lot of pressure. So that's why St. Helens blew its top in 1980, and that's what makes that volcano so dangerous, because it has more of that silica, which makes it more viscous, which is like taffy. So the less silica you have, like Kilauea, the more fluid, the less solid, the more the gases can escape, so we hope the gases keep coming out, and the safer it is, so you can walk pretty close to it, just like these guys. Just like a fireplace to feel the heat. So that's the difference between our volcano and Mount St. Helens. It's all about your chemistry and how much silica you have or you don't have. So we consider ourselves one of the safest volcanoes for viewing in the world. Because of this, we're also one of the most active volcanoes in the world. This volcano has been erupting for 31 years now. So people have been coming to this place where I'm standing for many years to see the volcano erupt. Now the volcano isn't always this calm and quiet, because in the past it's exploded too. People standing right where I am, right here, they've seen a major explosion occur in 1924, and there are people here to see it, as you can see, standing on the edge here. And they thought about closing the park during this explosion, but they didn't. And there was even a wedding going on at the hotel across the way, and they all came out. They all heard the big boom, and the crater in back of me is where the explosion occurred, and it's called Hale Crater. And there was a wedding going on, and I always say the wedding, the party after, it was a real blast. If you know what I mean, it's a blast. It's a blast. Everybody had fun. The bride was smoking hot. And yeah, the bride was smoking. She got a little bit of ash in her hair even. But anyways, this volcano in back of me, the crater of Kilauea, exploded in 1924. So we know what can happen. There was a group of people who wanted to get closer during this eruption in 1924. And they were probably warned. It went through a series of quiet, like it was quiet right now, but then it would explode. So they were probably warned not to go closer, but they did anyways. They get caught in an explosion. You see people running away in my picture? Yeah, so they get caught in an explosion. There's the guy running right here. And one guy ran one way and the other guy ran the other way. And a 10-ton boulder came and it landed on him, and it crushed, kind of a sad story, it crushed one of his feet, and it crushed the leg. And they found him, and then while they're rescuing him, the volcano starts to explode again, so then they have to leave him and come back. While they take him over to the hotel, and they work on him there, and ultimately, when he gets to Hilo that night, the town of Hilo, our main town 30 miles away, he ends up dying of blood loss in the hospital. So they can be dangerous. Luckily, no one died during this explosive activity. So he said, he got quoted saying, "Man, our little trip to the volcano sure has turned into a little trip, hasn't it?" So amazingly enough, that's why the road's closed behind me. So you should be able to drive down there. But if you were underneath that plume of gas right now, it's lethal. So you could die if you went out there. So only geologists go out there. And they take samples and they take measurements. And my question for you guys now is to, this computer here is getting away, is how do you guys think, how do we predict when a volcano is going to erupt? Any guesses? There's 3 major ways to predict when a volcano is going to erupt. Okay, go ahead. In the green? Yeah. In the green? Yeah. Or whoever's ready. Yeah. Go ahead. Hi. When the ground starts shaking for 10 points. So what it is we got magma beneath us. As it moves up, it creates a vibration, and it's an earthquake. So we got seismometers all over the volcano. We're always measuring that. And then when the ground starts to shake, we know there's going to be an eruption. That's one of the ways. There's 2 more very scientific ways. You in the green that's already standing, yep. When it starts to smoke for another 10 points, we get elevated levels of sulfur gases, so you can smell them, and that's our other way. So, when this volcano erupted, we had some gases come out too. And there's one last way. Are you going to say something up there in the blue shirt, or you in the blue packet? Yep.
Like if it kind of starts turning a reddish yellow color?
If it looks like it's red, potentially you're seeing lava. The last way is a little bit scientific. And it's when it actually, anybody else want to say anything? Yeah. Go ahead, anybody? Yeah. There's one last way of telling when a volcano is going to erupt. Do you talk to it and you say, "Hey, are you going to erupt soon?" When you see it, maybe you actually physically see it, and then you hop in your car and you drive away. That's one of the ways, but the geologists have ways to determine when it's going to erupt. And this would be something about the ground. The ground would do something. It would actually, yep, go ahead and sweater there.
The ground shakes.
The ground shakes, and then what else would it do? It would start to do this. It would start to rise. It would start to swell. So you got it. Yep. So we call that inflation and deflation. The lava rises and it sinks and it inflates and deflates. So those are our 3 ways of predicting when a volcano is going to erupt. Very good, you guys. Earthquakes. When we have lots of earthquakes, we know the lava is breaking through rock and it's rising. When we have increased levels of sulfur gases, we can smell it. And then also when the ground swells like a balloon, it'll start to rise.
Julie Reynolds, step to the front lobby, please. Julie Reynolds.
Sorry.
No worries. Let me say, yep, that volcano is going to erupt soon. So those are the three ways. In 1982, we predicted the eruption, and they had all those happen, and they said, close the road and clear the caldera. And then 3 hours later, the volcano erupted, so we were actually able to predict it. Pretty neat. Yeah.
That's cool.
So, yeah, lots going on the volcano these days. We get about 3,000 to 5,000 visitors a day in the park. We get 1.5 million visitors a year. We are 333,000 acres in our park, so we're a big park. We go up to 13,796 feet on the great big Mauna Loa volcano, and we go all the way to the ocean. We've got coastal resources too, and Hawaiians were living down at the ocean, not up here because it's too cold. Well, the last part of my talk is I like to play a song here on my nose flute. It's considered a sacred place, and Hawaiians, when a man would play a song on his nose flute for a woman, and if the woman thought the song was beautiful, it was a sign of true love. So I'll try to play a song. I play a song for Pele, the goddess of volcanoes here, because it is a sacred place that people have come for many years. And so I like to pay tribute and pay homage to this area that we're standing on today, and as many people have stood on before me and come before me. You play it with your nose because the term aloha, ha is your breath of life, and alo is your body. So ha is your breath of life, and you play it with your nose because it's your purest form of breath. And anything can come out of your mouth, right? But only so much out of your nose. So we'll see if this is plugged in here. See if we can get you guys a little view of this. Yeah. We'll play a song for Billy. Yeah.
But me.
Okay, cool. Just a couple other things is people used to go out there, but then when we had the volcano exploded in the middle of the night, it was a 2.7 earthquake, and then we had a big hole in our volcano, and the actual the wooden post people used to go up to and go up to the side of the volcano to make offerings. We had boulders. It actually burned the wooden post. So some people say, I remember going up to that wooden fence, and this is what's left of the wooden fence. So not much left. What's coming out of that lake of lava, because there is a lake of lava like I showed the picture, is Pele's hair. And so we have thin strands of volcanic glass here, and these are what's coming out of the vent. And basically, it's thin strands of volcanic glass, and it's like when the bubbles of lava burst, they pull apart and they create thin strands of glass called Pele's hair. So this is what's coming out. There's a close-up here. And it's silica. And people that live on this island say, what, you picked that up? And I say, yeah. And they say, man, when I was a kid, I think I got a drop of water on my lens here. Yep, they say when I was a kid, I used to hate that stuff. And I'd get it stuck in my shoes, or in my feet, because I couldn't afford shoes. And I say, well, I'm from Maui, I don't know better. But anyways, this is Pele's hair, thin strands of volcanic glass, that when the lava bubbles burst, it pulls apart and creates these thin strands of volcanic glass. And a couple more pictures here is how the volcano forms. I got a little visual here for you guys. So how it forms, first the volcano is it's a dome, and it forms up like a shield like I talked about. And then over time, the shield collapses into itself. So it collapses, it used to be 2,000 feet deep. And then over time, the lava fills it in. So now we're standing on 400-foot cliffs. And it's 3 miles across and it's 2 miles wide. So we're standing on the edge of 400-foot cliffs up here. And it goes through a lot of changes. So these are the shield volcanoes. And there are a lot of shield volcanoes over the world. The Galapagos Island, I believe, is a shield volcano. Yellowstone's a hotspot volcano, and so there's other hotspot volcanoes in the world too. Yeah, and it's those composite volcanoes, stratovolcanoes, Mount Pinatubo, Mount Etna, Mount St. Helens, Mount Fuji. Those are the ones that have the ability to explode. So at any rate, now it's raining pretty hard up here on the edge of the volcano. The weather's amazing. It changes really fast. How's the weather in East Texas this time of year? Hot. Hot?
It's getting warm a little bit.
Oh, okay, spring's coming, huh? Cool. Well, we have a high rate of endemism here in Hawaii, and we say that the volcano, basically things come here on their own, and we call them the 3 W's. Can you guys guess how plants and animals would come here to Hawaii? 3 things that start with W. Go ahead, the hand up. Three W's, we call them.
3 W's. Water.
Water's one. We're surrounded by water. Very good. Things float on the water and ocean currents and the breeze. Okay, next.
Wind.
The wind's in there too. That's how we get a lot of things in our wind, for sure. So they fly in the wind, insects fly in the wind, seeds fly in the wind. And the last W.
Weather.
Weather's in there. That goes with wind and water. The last W is the hardest. So I wonder if you guys can guess the last W. Yep, go ahead in the back there.
Weathering or weather?
No, still a W, but no, it's not the weather. It's the wind, the water, and whoa. I had a school group the other day, and one of the kids said "wanimals," but they were trying really hard. They were younger kids, and I gave them 5 points because they were trying really hard. They said "wanimals." That's not a word. Waves is water too. No, not waves. Yeah. So somebody else said Walmart, and I said Walmart. That's the 4th W. Come on. Yeah. And then somebody else said women, but that's taking a lot of credit. It was actually, maybe you guys can guess. Wings. On the wings of birds. Yes. So on the wings of birds, they got stuck on their feathers. They got stuck on their feet. They came in the waist. And that's how plants and animals came to Hawaii. In the wind, they flew in the wind, they floated on the water, and they came on the wings of birds. And that's what came here, had to survive a journey of 2,000 miles in the middle of the Pacific Ocean. Then they landed upon the shores, and then they sprouted up here on the volcano. And so they evolved with their food source, or with their source. So we call them endemic. So these are only found here and nowhere else in the world. Pretty amazing. I'm sure you guys have some endemic plants too in your neighborhoods that only grow in where you're from. So those are neat things. And, you know, over time, more people brought plants, so Hawaiians brought plants that could survive off like sweet potato and taro and bananas, and pigs, dogs, and chickens. And then another category of plants are invasive species. Do you guys have any invasive species in your backyards? Any weeds?
Any what?
Any invasive species in your yards?
Plants are taking over, attacking.
Any weeds?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah? Do you name one?
Grass.
Grass. Oh. Who needs it? Yeah.
Poison ivy. They're taking over. Poison ivy. Flowers. Poison ivy. Poison ivy.
Thorns, definitely. Who needs thorns in their yard? Yeah, get rid of those thorns. And so we call them invasive plants, highly invasive, non-native, alien, and exotic. Yeah. Go ahead. Oh, neat. You got one of those in here. Those are invasive, huh? Yeah.
Vines.
Vines, too. Yeah, they're everywhere. Those vines. Yeah, you guys got more invasives you want to talk about?
Oh, no, I think they're good.
Okay, well, up here in the park, we've got people that fight fires. We've got people that do guided hikes like me. I'm a park ranger. We have park policemen and women. We have people who do accounting, and we have people who work in our building and facilities, make management and maintenance. We have mechanics. We have people that build the trail. We have people that go out to the field, and they're biologists, and they study the rare plants. They study the rare birds. We have geologists and volcanologists. So there's a lot of different jobs out there in the Park Service and in the conservation world. So I can tell you guys are interested, and through interest grows appreciation, and through appreciation grows respect, and through respect goes conservation and preservation. So we're here to protect and preserve this place for the future generations so that you guys can protect it for your kids too. So that's what the Park Service is all about, and we have fun doing it, and we're a big park, and it's a great place to work. So if you guys ever get a chance to come out, come to Hawaii Volcanoes National Park, and you might find Ranger Adrian in the Visitor Center doing a guided hike. And you guys can also go on our website. It's hawaiivolcanoesnationalpark.gov, and you can check out the eruption update, and you can look at some of the pictures and the rare plants that grow here. So I encourage you to do that. There's also another good website, the Hawaii Volcano Observatory website, and you can learn about geology and the volcanoes and the different types of eruptions that are occurring too. So definitely lots going on here on the volcano, and I encourage you guys to think big and broad as you think about what you might want to do in your careers and in your life. So that kind of ends my program. And if you guys have any questions for me, I'm open for questions at this point.
All righty, let's start the question.
All right. Yep. Yep, go ahead.
Have you ever been on the top, like on the very top where you could see the lava?
I've actually got to flying a helicopter over this volcano here and on the edges. So I have got to see the lava from the air. I've got to walk up to it also. And when we have a good flow, you can get right up to it. So it's pretty fun just to see it up close and personal. Yep.
Have you ever found a old fossil?
Actually, where I'm standing up here, great question, is Hawaiians would use rocks, and they break them apart to make like an arrowhead or a tool to cut and make an axe. So we find some archaeological evidence up here. I haven't personally found any fossils, but we have archaeologists who definitely have found bones of Hawaiians in lava in caves and stuff. Yeah, good question.
How many people died at that wedding?
The wedding, no one, well, only the one guy who went out that died. He just got stuck in the explosion. So, you know, we have had people that have died on the volcano. Either they're at the ocean and the land collapses while they're watching it, and it's unstable land, but luckily not too many people. Yeah.
What's the most asked question there?
Oh, great question. They ask, where's the lava? And where is the bathroom? And where's the movie? Those are the three most asked questions every day. So after this, I'll be heading to the visitor center. and I'll work at the desk and I'll answer. I came all the way from Canada and I came to see lava. And then currently the lava's not in the ocean, as I said. So some people get a little upset that they came all this way, but this crater glows pretty neat after sunset, so that's the highlight of being here after sunset.
Have you ever seen an explosion like you've been there before?
Well, this crater actually, when the walls of the crater drop in, it's like water on oil, and it creates a big bomb. So I was here one day when it exploded 6 times, and the winds were going straight up, and ash was falling down on my hat, and all around us here on the ground. So it was a pretty amazing day at work. So I have seen small explosions occur here. Nothing that we had to like close off or evacuate. Yep.
Another volcano in the park?
Is there another volcano?
Yes.
Yeah, there's another vent 12 miles away from us here, and it's coming out the side of the volcano. And that vent, if you were to take an airplane or a helicopter, you could see it, and that would be where it's burning forest. That vent, I'll show you some quick pictures. We have what we call a rift zone. And so the summit of the volcano is here, but the lava can erupt anywhere along this rift zone. And my house is on this side. And so if you live on the side of the volcano, the other vent coming out, we're at the summit, but we have a vent 12 miles away that feeds lava into the ocean. And it's called Pu'o'o. So that's been erupting in the wilderness area. And when it first came out, lava did high fountain up to 1,500 feet for 3 years. And people were here to see it, and it built up a cone, and then the cone collapsed. And now if you take that airplane or helicopter, it looks like this. And so this is where lava is coming out, and it's burning through rainforest. And then a map of all the flows here is, we're up here, but the vent's been erupting 31 years. It's covered 10 miles of the road here. 214 houses that burned down. We had a visitor center down here that burned down. 500 acres of land's been added. So this, instead of going in the ocean right now, it's going sideways towards Highway 130 and up towards my house down here. So we'll see what it does next, but it'll probably go into the ocean. It's a good question, yeah. Alrighty.
Has anyone ever fallen into
Some of the geologists actually in the building here, there's some geologists where their uniforms got burned. They got too close, they fell in, but they came out, they didn't die in that case. They just the ground underneath them kind of let loose only a couple times. And there are people that I know that have scars. They're geologists, yeah. Go ahead.
2 questions. One more question about questions.
Okay.
What was the most silly question anyone's asked you there?
Well, somebody asked me, is there a time of year when it's better to come to see the volcano? Is there a season for it? Well, there's no seasons for volcanoes because you can't control them, and they just erupt whenever they want. So it's not like in October we have a good flow and the lava blooms or anything. It's all year round, and so any time of year the volcano can erupt. Some people ask me, where's the volcano? And I say, you're standing on it. So no such thing as a silly question, but there are some questions where I guess, if you're not from the area, you might kind of, where is the volcano? I don't see a volcano here. Like, actually, yeah, there's a volcano. It's here. Yeah.
It's your
So, yeah, good question. Do you have another question? All right.
Have you ever had to evacuate?
Yes, we have. When there's high levels of sulfur gas,
announcement.
we actually will close off this area here, and we won't let anybody come here because this plume of gas behind us will switch and it'll blow right at us. And we've had to close the park twice within the last 6 years. We just closed the front gate. We carry gas bags with us, and when the levels of gases rise, then we know we're in bad air. So if you see me running, it's a good time to run too. But usually we'll let you know before we go. Yeah.
Oh my God.
Okay, any other questions out there?
Guys, this is your volcano expert right here. Today's your day to ask questions. That's right, he's a genius.
Does it ever get so cold that the ice is so deep on
We might get a little bit of frost up here now and then. We're at 4,000 feet, so not too bad. We have gotten snow this year, though. 3 times we had snow on our volcano summit, on our Mauna Loa volcano, because it's almost 14,000 feet. We had a good snow in February, March, and April this year, and there's still some ice up there. But, you know, if there's an eruption when there's ice or snow, then it cools so fast it creates a dense type of rock called obsidian, and that's what Indians even use to make arrowheads and that darker type of rock. So that's what Hawaiians would use to make their pickaxe and their axe tools, so they could make their canoes and carve out canoes and things. Because they didn't have metal and they didn't have any of that. They just had the rock. Yep.
What
Go ahead.
animal is found in the forest?
Not a whole lot of animals. You know, I can hear a bird right now. Well, we have the only animals that came to Hawaii came on the 3 W's. And so we have monk seals and we have bats. Those are our only 2 native mammals. Otherwise, we have cats, rats, pigs, and dogs. We have sheep and goats that are wild animals in the parks areas. Mostly pigs and mongoose, which are like a ferret or an oversized rat. So not a whole lot of animals in the park here. No bears in Hawaii. Yeah.
Good question.
Yeah.
The average temperature.
It's around 2,000 degrees. Yeah, so it's pretty hot stuff, and it's a little hotter than your average oven. Average temperature is around 2,000 degrees. Yeah.
So you burn up the bacon. To burn up the bacon.
We'll go to the end of the line.
How long does it smoke when it erupts?
Well, currently this one's been erupting 6 years. It started out as a little rubble pile, and then over time the hole's gotten bigger. Now this crater you see in back of me smoking away is it's 520 feet across, so you can fit a football field in there, and it's about 690 feet long. So yeah, it's bigger than a football field. So every now and then a chunk of it falls in, but it'll keep smoking until it's done. And so this has increased our levels of sulfur dioxide here. And so we all kind of get used to it, but it's what hurts your lungs. So we try to avoid it when the wind switches, yeah.
What's that desert right now?
It is heading almost to a little after 9 o'clock in the morning here, 9:40 in the morning. So time's marching on. And yeah, it's a little chilly up here, it's a little windy, a little bit rainy today. And it's not a bad day, though. It comes with the territory. And we say if we don't hike when it rains, we never hike. Because it always rains up here. We get 120 inches of rain a year. So pretty wet place. Yeah.
120 inches.
Yeah.
That's a lot.
About a third of an inch a day if you do the math, yeah. Roughly. Yeah. Alrighty.
Have your clothes ever caught on fire?
Not my clothes. My shoes. I've burnt, melted some of the rubber on my soles, but I haven't had my clothes catch fire. Luckily, yeah. No lava scars for me.
Have they tried to measure how much lava is actually in there, like a gallon or something like that? Like if they measure?
Yeah, they've done some satellite imagery, some infrared imagery. You know, that's a good question. The lava lake here, if you're on the edge right now, it goes up and down. And so 150 feet is a low stand usually, and then up to, it was at 92 feet the other day, and now it's around 100 feet. I'm not sure how much lava is in it, though. That's a great question. Maybe a 500,000 cubic yards of lava, or 1 million cubic yards of lava when it's going in the ocean. That's how much is coming out every day. But right now, I'm not sure on the numbers.
Has anybody ever tried to climb inside
Geologists go out on the edge. They have a camera mounted on the edge. So if you guys go to that Hawaii Volcano Observatory website, you can look at some of the webcams of Halemaumau crater. It's a pretty great website, actually. And no one's gone into this one yet. It's a little too dangerous, though. It's a little too hot, 2,000 degrees. But geologists wear special suits, and they'll take samples. And they have a helicopter. They'll fly out to the vent where it's erupting in the forest, and they'll take samples, and they'll measure how hot it is. And they have a heat gun. They'll shoot it and see how hot it is. So, yeah, good question. They're always taking samples. Yeah, they're doing all kinds of scientific measurements. All right. Yeah. Where can you get a nose flute? Okay, yeah, someone asked me that yesterday too. Well, you can look online. We make them. I was actually with another school yesterday, and we made a nose flute. It's made out of bamboo. It's called Ohe Hano Ihu in Hawaiian. And Ohe is bamboo, Hano's to blow with intent, Ihu's with your nose. And so, at any rate, you might be able to look online to find the nose flute. They're a little hard to find though. They're not in any average store. You gotta be able to order them online. If you have bamboo around your house, you might be able to make one. You can look it up online to find out how to make them. And if you go on YouTube, there's probably some good lessons on how to make them too. Yeah. Hi.
Yes, you're back.
What is your hottest temperature there and your coldest temperature?
As far as for outside or for lava?
Outside.
Our hottest temperatures, we reach into the lower 90s in some of our drier climates. And then, and it can get maybe, not really over 100 really for the most part. Our lowest temperatures, if you're up on the summits of Mauna Kea, you get into the 20s and 40s, 20s and 30s. They can get below freezing at night if you're up at like 14,000 feet. Most people that go up there only stay for a little while because altitude sickness is a hazard, hypothermia is a hazard. But here, where I'm at, is our highs are in the upper 60s, and our lows are the lower 60s. Our highs are maybe lower 70s, but mostly upper 60s and lower 60s. So not a bad climate. We can go on a hike in the sun, and we're up here at 4,000, and we don't get covered in sweat because it's nice and cool up here. So it's a nice place to hike.
Yeah, we hiked to the car and we already broke a sweat.
Oh, wow. What temperature is it in your guys' area today?
Well, it's kind of cool today. It's 60s, maybe up to 70s. But
Yeah.
2 days ago, we were up in the 90s already.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Are you guys along the ocean, too?
Oh, no, we're up in East Texas in the woods.
Oh, yeah, okay, I see.
High humidity, lots of trees.
Yeah, my sister used to live in Houston. Now she's in New York right now for a little bit, yeah.
We're 2 hours north of Houston.
Oh, cool. I see, cool.
That's right.
Yep.
Smart Alex question. Oh, okay.
Mr. Bond.
Okay, ask a smart question.
How small was the island before all the lava added the new land around it?
Thank you.
And how much land did it add around the small island?
It starts off with one volcano and then the rest of the volcanoes come. So as they come out of the ocean, the islands emerge. So I'll show you this visual here. And ultimately, we're on the volcano on the side right here. But really, it starts off with these big volcanoes. And then they actually erode back into the ocean. So the older volcanoes like Oahu's up here, Kauai is 6 million years old, Oahu's 3 million years old, Maui, my home island, is 2 million years old, and then Big Island, we're on the Hawaii Island, is 800,000 years old. So we're the youngest island. As the islands emerge, this is a new volcano coming out of the ocean called Oihi, and as the islands emerge, it adds to the island and it makes it bigger. So on the northwest side here, as the plate moves northwest, is our first volcano, Kohala, and it's eroding back into the ocean. Then you got Mauna Kea is dormant, Kohala is dormant, but then you got these 3 active volcanoes, Hualai, Mauna Loa and Kilauea. So these are where the volcanoes could still erupt. So even though just the volcano we're on now is erupting, we have other volcanoes that are overdue for eruptions. So the potential for another eruption is still there. And a new island forming offshore is 18 miles offshore here, and it's 3,000 feet below sea level, and it's called Loihi. And that's our newest Hawaiian island. And when it comes up, it'll probably form onto Kilauea, just like this. And then it'll form and it'll make a bigger big island, just like Mauna Kea and Mauna Loa. Or it might create its own island, we're not sure. So we say, you know, it grows 1 or 2 inches a year. So if you want to buy land, you have to wait, 10,000 to 100,000 years on Loihi. So it's going to be a little while. So we say it's kind of like the stock market. You got to invest early, long-term investments. But they're actually selling it online. Yeah, they're selling Loihi online, and they guarantee an ocean view. And if you have some money to burn, it's some of the hottest deals around. But no, I'm just joking. So, anyway, yeah. You never know what's going to happen next. And we're a big park, and we're here to protect and preserve. And so I hope this talk's been kind of fun for you guys. I know it's been fun for me. And we have a lot of fun. And if you ever get a chance to visit any of your national parks, because you have over 400 national parks, and they're all there for you to visit. So I encourage you guys to check out your local national park.
Well, thank you. We appreciate you taking your time and teaching us and helping us understand better.
All right, Mr. Oz, we'll be in touch. Take care, you guys.
Stay safe.
Okay, see ya.
Boys and girls, what do you say to Mr. Haas for scheduling this one?
Oh, you will.
All right, my group, if you will head back with the chairs and return now.
Carefully. I don't like the chairs that high.
In front of you, chairs in front of you, not above you.
Chris, stop.
Miss Barton's room, if you will head out.